All very nice going out and buying machinery, buying equipment, crazy amounts of kit, and buy all the time. I've made loads of mistakes in my time. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Olly's Farm the News. Well, today you join me in the Olly's Farm office because it's completely chucking it down on the farm today. 2021 seems to be off to a very wet start. I feel sorry for Paul Stent, who's got the sugar beet harvesters. Hopefully he'll be able to get all of the sugar beet harvesting finished just in time for the end of the season. And big news, we spoke to a chap called Mark, who's the manager of the Cantley British Sugar Factory, and that's where the sugar beet, which is collected from the farm, goes. It goes across the river, and then it goes into that factory where it's then turned into sugar. Because over the pandemic, they've been flat out producing sugar, and I was trying to organise a factory tour. So Mark and I have been having discussions back and forth, and we're going to do a virtual factory tour of the factory. So I won't be able to go into the factory due to the lockdown, but Mark and his team in the factory are going to do a tour of the factory, and they're going to go and show us how the beet is turned from sugar beet into sugar. So I'm really looking forward to that one, and I hope you guys are too. And growing up, I've always seen the factory as like a big hive, and inside it all of the workers work together to produce that sweet sugar which is made from the sugar beet. And a massive thumbs up to British Sugar for working throughout the lockdown, producing sugar for the country in these difficult times. So in other news, we've had a very busy week on the farm this week. It started off with collecting the round bales with the John Deere and the Johnson Brothers trailer off Letterbox field. So that field is now clear. There was 2 bales left on there, as a lot of you guys mentioned in the comments. And Dad actually went back up with the Manitou and Muck Grab and picked those 2 bales up the following day. So that field is now clear. So later on this week, and then also we've been planning this week for later on this week, because everything has to be organised, for the New Holland tractor which is coming. And it's now coming, Henry's just told me this morning, at the end of this week. So it's going to be turning up on Friday, because this upcoming weekend we're going to be doing the muck spreading. So we've got the New Holland coming, we've got the muck spreader coming next week, the AH muck spreader, and then we've got the Manitou with the muck grab, which I fixed the tine on in yesterday's video because Dad had sadly bent one of the tines. I know some of you guys had said to heat the tine up, but when you heat that type of metal up, it will just crack and it will never be the same. So luckily, Graham gave me a brand new tine for that one, which I'm very appreciative of. And then also in this past week, we loaded up the biomass burner. And as a lot of you guys know, that's a very important part of the farm at this time of the year, especially when it's cold and wet and raining every day. It's keeping everyone warm, including my granny, who also lives on the farm. My granny lives on her own now, and if it wasn't for the biomass boiler, if it wasn't for us doing that job, she would be cold. We're doing an important job there with the biomass boiler. And then we also touched on plans for being carbon neutral by 2031. And I received some really good feedback from that video, so thank you very much for all of your comments. Some of the comments were about the livestock and why I didn't talk too much about the livestock in that video. And there was so much to touch on in that video, I couldn't touch on the livestock. So the way farming's going at the moment, it's not an easy time, I think, for livestock. As I said at the start of this year, we want to look into poultry production. We want to move away from red meat production and move more towards free-range poultry production. And I think the industry is going through a big change at the moment in terms of red meat. Consumers are changing their dietary habits, their eating requirements, and in the future there's projections that a lot of people are going to be eating less meat in the Western world, certainly. And one way in which we are trying to combat that on the farm is to produce less meat, but produce higher quality meat. So down at the marshes at the Broads National Park, the cows we've got, the 50 red poll suckler cows, they are going to be a sustainable herd, a sustainable breed of cow, which can manage the Broadlands National Park and also produce slow-grown, naturally grass-fed, good quality beef. So we're not going to be producing very much beef in the future. We're going to be producing about the same or less than we have always been producing, but it will be better quality. It will be good quality beef. And it's exactly the same with the sheep on the farm. We have a flock of store lambs at the moment, and we also have a flock of pedigree Shropshire ewes. And the Shropshire ewes are very good for maintaining the land. They don't eat trees, they don't eat branches, so we can leave them on parkland and they won't eat any young saplings. Because something else which is very important is that we want to plant more trees on the farm. A big supporter of the channel, Kai Gill, commented, why don't you plant more trees on the farm, Olly? And that's absolutely right. That is a really good way of reducing our carbon footprint and storing carbon and also emitting oxygen with the trees. And if we plant more trees, and we've got all these trees on the farm, we're going to need something to graze around the trees. And the beauty of the Shropshire sheep is that they don't eat bark. So they're not going to eat those young saplings, those young trees, when they're growing up. Now, if we were to put a commercial flock of sheep on there, they might try and eat the small trees and they might die. So that's the beauty of the Shropshires. We need them, they're all part of the bigger plan. And so are the redpoles. The redpoles are very important. They're small, they're hardy, they're ideal for the Norfolk Broads National Park. They were actually bred for the Broads by the Earl of Leicester in the late 18th century. So go and check that out. You can go out, see what other people are doing, you can have those experiences, and then you can bring them home, and then you can flourish. So that's something I would advise perhaps some of my younger viewers out there who are starting to visit some other farms and to work on some other places to get that experience and to get a bit of diversity in your life. Variety is the spice of life, and when you meet lots of different people, it's just a really good thing for you. And one of the beauties with Olly's farm is I get so many opportunities to go around the country, to go around the world. Due to the lockdown, we can't really go very many places at the moment, but when we do, the opportunities are fantastic, and it really breaks up the year for me, because as much as I love being on the farm, it's nice to go off the farm and visit other places, meet cool, interesting people who are doing some really fantastic things in this world. There's a chap actually just down the road who's got a dairy called Fen Farm Dairy, and I'm hoping to do a visit there with the founder, and he's a really entrepreneurial guy. They're making a cheese called Baron Bigot cheese, which is being sold in Michelin-star restaurants. They're producing raw milk, they've got vending machines, coffee machines, they've got plans for all sorts of things. So getting out there and meeting other entrepreneurial farmers is a really good thing for you. And you can learn from the others around you, you can see what they're doing, you can say, oh, that's quite a good idea, that worked for them, that worked, oh, that didn't work. And there's mistakes along the way. I've made loads of mistakes in my time. I've knocked mirrors off tractors, I've smashed the tractors all when I was younger, done loads of things. And in the moment, you're like, oh, this is terrible, I've made a mistake, I've done this. But actually, in the long term, you actually realise that it was in a funny way, it was a good thing, because you learn from that experience and you learn about the mirrors. You've got to keep the mirrors in, and it's something which can only be developed with time. It's not a 5-minute job, as I always say. So since coming back to the farm, the way the farm operates is there's basically cash flow. For those of you guys who don't remember, back in the good old days on the farm, we used to have McCormick tractors. I think it went Zetas, McCormick, and then an old used John Deere, and then we bought a 6300, which I was really after, and then we managed to buy a 6930, and now it's a 6155R. So we've always bang upgraded, and now we've got to a point where we've got some quite nice equipment on the farm, and we're keeping it busy, we're keeping it working. And with the farm, it's a business. So it's as much as I love farming is a way of life. But as a lot of people can sometimes forget, farming is a business. And in order for it to be sustainable, that's the way it has to be. So it's nice to go out and, all very nice going out and buying machinery, buying equipment. But the majority of equipment I buy or try and purchase for the farm is with a long-term goal. And it will give us a return on our investment over time. That's the key. The most important thing is to not go out and buy, crazy amounts of kit and buy all the time. I know a lot of you guys say go and buy this, go and buy that. Unfortunately, life isn't I can't just, money doesn't grow on trees. I can't just pull the money out of the tree. Everything which I bought, like I say, I'm really trying to sort of have a purpose with it. And thankfully, Olly's Farm YouTube has helped to buy a lot of machinery. I hope you're enjoying all of the content. Let me know in the comments section what sort of content you'd like to see in the future, and I'll try and make it happen. So much to look forward to. We've got the New Holland coming later this week, the muck spreader, bales are being picked up, bales are being dropped off Monday morning, load them. The side squeeze and the round bale squeeze, that's been interesting in the comments. I really think that the side squeeze is probably taking it just at the moment, just because you can slide into the bales and just take them out at any point. I mean, it's so versatile, that side squeeze. We'll try them out later on in the week, anyway, on Monday, when we're unloading those bales off that trailer. So lots to look forward to, lots to be happy and positive about. Keep that positive mindset, and guys, we're in it to win it. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will catch you on the next one.